Welcome everybody to Respawn Please, the weekly. All right, we're gonna restart that. Start over there. I choked. All right, welcome to Respawn Please, the video game podcast, the weekly video game. You know what? Give me a second. Welcome to Respawn Please, the weekly video game podcast, where two dum-dums come together to talk about all things video games, from the games themselves to the musings. I forgot the rigmarole. Let's just continue on, push through this. I'm your host, Jesus. And that's Ell. Ell, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on? This was perfect intro. I love it. I'm doing great.
This was completely flawless. I did everything perfect. Nothing went wrong. How you doing? Everything going well?
Yeah, everything's going really good. Been a busy week and playing games, creating music, and really those two things. That's it. So.
All right, cool. So you didn't rob any banks? You
No.
probably shouldn't say that out loud. You know, if you can't, you shouldn't confess to that.
Of course not.
Blink twice if you have. Okay. I'm gonna be honest. I was not looking because I.
Oh my god!
So I need you to do this again because I need you to do this again. Blink twice. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. All. Everybody, everything everybody knows. You don't speak it. See no evil. Hear no evil. Speak no evil. Right? That's the thing.
Yeah. Yep.
Where's that from? Who says that? What was that from? I know it from a play, but the play is not like it was around before the play.
I have no idea.
Yeah. It's a Bible verse, right?
I think so.
You know what? We shouldn't get into religion here, okay? All
right.
Anyways,
it comes from. It says here it's a Japanese proverb. That's what it is.
Is it? Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I was completely off. Anyways, let's go on. We have a lot to talk about today because we have EA's looking to merge or sell. I just saw that like about an hour ago. Had to throw it in there. So it's still kind of fresh. Look at the PS Plus tiers and games. Ubisoft Classics are coming to PS Plus, the tier system, and trophies are appearing in PlayStation 1 Classic games that are going to be part of the whole PS Plus bundle. So we have a lot of PlayStation to talk about. We have Fall Guys going to free to play, and Warzone 2 is leaks. And then surprise, surprise, Xbox Series S is selling well in Japan.
Nice.
You know? And then for our discussion, we have our yearly releases for games like FIFA, Madden, Call of Duty, all of that. Worth it? We'll talk about all that here and now. But before we get into that, what you been playing, El? What's been capturing your fancy these last this last week or so?
Yeah, so this week been playing a lot of WWE 2K22. That game's very fun. Playing the My Rise, the story mode type of thing for like you create a character. And so I've been playing that a lot. And I don't know how long it is, but I'm almost done. But I've been having fun with the stories and just doing like funny, crazy things in there. Playing that. Of course, occasionally, it's funny. I haven't been playing a lot of Overwatch. I kind of took a step back from Overwatch for a little bit. I actually took like a week off, and then I came back a little today, and I was like, this feels weird.
And this is not the beta, right? The beta's over?
No, yeah, beta's over.
For
now
2.
everybody's back to Overwatch 1. Okay. Been playing that, and then also trying to finish up Trek to Yomi. But WWE 2K22 has been taking up most of my time.
Oh, that's the better game. So.
Yeah.
What have you
been playing?
I've been playing distinctly through games. WWE 2K22 as well. We'll talk about that more at length here in a second.
Nice.
I've been playing Dragon Quest 11.
Nice.
I can't remember if I mentioned it off screen or last week, or if it was just something like something we talked about. But Dragon Quest drives me insane, and I absolutely love it. It does what a lot of Japanese RPGs do, where you get a cutscene,
Oh yeah.
and then they're like, "Follow us," and it goes back to like normal gameplay where you control your character and you take like 2 steps and it goes to another cutscene. That drives me insane. I realize pretty much every Japanese RPG does this. And I guess I understand it too, but it's like, man, Dragon Quest has a whole, like, there's a sequences. There's multiple times that it happens back to back. And I'm just like, please, for the love of God, just have our characters walk through. Better yet, just say all the stuff as we're walking. take a note from Western
Exactly,
RPGs, take a note from Western developers, and just have the characters talk as we're walking. You don't have to make a cutscene for it.
Hilarious.
Especially if the cutscene's only going to last like 2 seconds. Like, anyway, though, I'm about halfway through Dragon Quest.
Okay.
Like all Japanese RPGs, it's grind heavy, to level up your character and stuff. You're constantly fighting stuff to make yourself stronger and all that. But Dragon Quest, really good game, really fun game. I think have you ever played a Dragon Quest game at all?
I haven't played one.
This one is a good one to sort of jump into. It's easy.
Okay.
It's probably the most accessible Dragon Quest that I've seen and played. Because I've made multiple points. I've tried jumping in at multiple points, like on the more popular ones. Because like 7 and 8, or maybe it's 6 and 7. I can't remember exactly which ones are the more popular ones. But those tend to be the ones that everyone's like, yeah, you got to go play those. But it's like a lot of it goes over my head. I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. But this one kind of, there's Dragon Quest. They have like little arcs for each of them, so the stories are connected. And 11 is technically connected to like the first 3 games, I want to say. It's but it's like a prequel to those games rather than a sequel, so you don't have to have them. It gives you just information. But it's a fun game. And then I've been playing Dead Space. I beat Dead Space 1 Wednesday night on my stream, on my personal streaming channel, and I'm going to be starting Dead Space 2 tonight.
Nice.
So I'm excited. I love Dead Space. God,
great game.
I think it took me about 7 hours to beat it. Dead Space 1. So I think that's the fastest I've ever beaten the game. I'm not sure. I think I might have gotten to like 6.5 hours before. I can't remember, but short games. I'm excited. I got kind of obsessed with Dead Space, and do you remember the 2 Dead Space movies?
Oh yeah. The animated?
Yeah, I bought them.
Oh, yeah. Oh wow.
they were on Xbox, and they're like $7 or something like that on the Xbox store. So I was like, I'm gonna buy them. Watch them. They're not good, but whatever.
Are they supposed to add lore to the story? Okay.
They both. No, one takes place before Dead Space 1, and the other one takes place after Dead Space 1, like in between Dead Space 1 and Dead Space 2. They're not good, but you know what? It's fine.
Yeah,
I wasn't expecting anything. They're relatively short. They're not like 2-3 length. Yeah, they're not like 2-3 hours. They're like an hour and 20 something minutes.
Oh, okay.
So like, short, sweet. I had them on while I was playing WWE 2K22. So, but yeah, WWE 2K22. I absolutely love this game. It's gonna sound weird. I think it might be my game of the year so far.
Wow.
This is the most fun I've had in a game this year so far. Like, I love Tunic. I absolutely love Tunic.
Great game.
But I didn't have this much fun.
Enjoyment out of it.
Yeah. As like Tunic, I think is adorable. I think really when it comes down to like choosing, if I had to stack them up against, I would pick Tunic. But like just that, if I'm just basing it on enjoyment rather than like the technical elements, because we'll talk about the technical elements of WWE 2K22 in a second. But if I was like basing on the technical, artistic, and all that, obviously that would go to Tunic. But like just out of pure enjoyment, like WWE 2K22 is incredible. Like I mentioned this off the stream before we started. This game has no right to be as good as it is. It's insane, like how much enjoyment I'm getting out. I've like dabbled in all of the different modes, the My GM, the My Rise, the Universe, to Rey Mysterio's whole little showcase arc that he has. I've been diving deep into the creation stuff because of Also, I just realized I did not update the titles for the.
No.
Flapjacks. You know what? Good. You know what? It doesn't matter. We're on episode 8. We're gonna be on episode 9. 8 right now. Yeah. Sorry, my brain just broke. But this whole. I've enjoyed every aspect of this game. Like create your superstar stuff and like how detailed you can get is insane.
Yeah.
I've started creating arenas and like getting
Oh
like
wow!
specific
I didn't know
things.
you could do that.
Yeah, if you can create arenas, you can create your
Holy
title
moly.
belts, you can create like your intro movies and stuff like that. You
Oh
can do
my
a
God.
whole bunch of shit, and I've been diving into it because, like I mentioned before we got on, I'm creating a whole my universe thing around what I'm calling the Solitary Wrestling Federation, the SWF, for my personal streams, and so I've been creating all the assets. And I've been creating the arenas. I've been creating the championship belts. I started dabbling in creating the intro movie stuff, and it's going over my. It's a little bit too annoying to work. Like the video editor they have in game is a little bit too annoying, to the point that I'm like, I don't really want to sit through this and try to make this shit work. But
Yeah.
It's interesting that they have all of these tools inside of it. Like when you like really break down the whole creation suite that they have, because it's incredible. Like I adore this.
Oh yeah, I've been loving the game a lot too. Just playing like random matches, like Hell in a Cell matches, or I've been doing, like I said, the My Rise feature of it, and created my own character. And I've been like going through that story mode, whatever you go through that, and so I've been having fun with that, and I've been playing it every night before I go to bed, so, and just having fun, just because like it's. I think I was thinking about it yesterday. It's a game that you can literally, once you understand the controls and you kind of know how to do special moves or reverse certain things, it's a good game to kind of not have to think too much, and you can just really have fun with it, and just your imagination just runs wild, and you're like, oh, this is so cool. And you know, it's not like a puzzle game or anything like that. It's just more so something to throw people from the ring, throw them onto tables, break tables, do things, you know.
It's what I would say is a good podcast game, or a good like just throw something on, like turn a podcast on, like I did watch the Dead Space movies, do the Dead Space movies on, half paid attention to what I was doing there, watching the Dead Space movies, and this is a perfect game for that, where you don't have to put a lot of thought into anything. I'm also very weird in how I'm playing. I'm really addicted to my GM and the universe modes, and I don't actually do any of the matches. I just watch them. Yeah, I'm weird. I know. But like, I really like my GM mode. I like the idea of it. It's very limiting in what you can do. So have you dabbled in my GM at all?
No, I haven't. I was actually going to jump into that after I finished the My Rise part. And so I've been just enjoying that wrestling, because I'm assuming the My GM is you kind of are trying to get a rating for whichever show you control. Yeah. And you're trying to like make it better than the other shows, or you know, something
so
like
you're competing against, you compete against one other show. So you can select Raw, SmackDown, NXT, or NXT UK. And each one has like different perks for you, like available to you. And the GM that you pick also has different perks to them. So like if you pick Stephanie McMahon, I believe Stephanie McMahon like you can use a perk that doubles the payout that you would get after like you do a episode or whatever of that show. So there's perks and stuff. There's that system to it. And you have a budget that you have to manage, so you have to hire your stars, your superstars. Some of them will be permanent on your channel, on your brand, or you can contract out to from 5 weeks to 10 weeks stars and stuff. So the whole idea is that you're trying to bring value to the brand that you're building and trying to out compete the other brand. But I've been addicted to that. I keep playing it. I've restarted like a million times because I'm crazy. This is where I mentioned I've been keeping spreadsheets. This is where I've been keeping spreadsheets.
Oh yeah, you did mention that. I was like, what do you mean spreadsheets?
Yeah, I've been keeping spreadsheets of keeping track of how my rivalries are unfolding and stuff, because it gives you like a rivalry. When you have two wrestlers like fight, they might form a rivalry. So I've been keeping track of that. I've been keeping track of like who I hire, how many weeks they're going to be with me, who the champions are. what each like my keeping track of my roster, keeping track of wins, losses, and all this other stuff. I've just been keeping track of a whole bunch of different things because I'm a crazy person. And I've also been doing that for Universe, but we won't get into the Universe is far more complicated than the GM. So
gotcha.
But yeah, so you have a budget and everything. You're trying to manage that. And I've just been addicted to that. And so you set up the show yourself. Depending on the difficulty that you're playing on. If you're playing on easy, you only have 3. You only have 3 matches that you book. So you have your opener, you have your opener, your mid card, and then your main event, and then you have promos. And then you have promos in between, so you can assign who's wrestling in the opening, who's wrestling in mid card, who's the main event. Then you're gonna have folks doing promos to like on the promo side, they can call out other wrestlers to help form rivalries, or you can do charity to like boost your ratings. You can do a self promotion to get popularity to that wrestler, so their popular stat will go up. The popular thing just means how many fans like this wrestler and stuff. Like, so like the higher the higher the rating is, their popular rating is, the bigger the match will be, sort of thing. And then each wrestler has their own classes as well. So you have fighter, cruiser, giant, bruiser, and specialist. And there's like pairings off. You have like the perfect pairings, like bruiser and fighter. When you have them fight each other, that's a perfect pairing. Giant cruiser is a perfect pairing. Specialist can wrestle anybody and it'll be fine. It's very complicated. Wow. This is why I'm saying
it sounds very complicated.
This is why I've been keeping track of this in spreadsheets.
Wow, that's
because
crazy.
The game doesn't really tell you any of this. It gives you that brief like information. You know, like I'm sure when you went to My Rise, a little thing popped up and said you can go
like,
do this,
do that, press this button, it'll do that.
It has that for my GM when you started and everything, but it doesn't really tell you the more complicated things. And then occasionally you'll get a message from Triple H on the My GM side going, hey, so you paired a giant with a fighter. You know, if you pair a cruiser with a giant, that'll get better ratings for your matches. And stuff like that. So
little hints and stuff.
Yeah. And then Triple H also sets up goals for you to like meet. So like one week he'll say, make sure this character fights in a match, or make sure your most popular male fights your most fights against the person who has the lowest popularity thing on your roster. So like putting the best against the worst type of thing and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
So again, very complicated. It's not, I mean, I'm probably making it more complicated than it really is, but I've been keeping spreadsheets for all this. And I've also been doing the same with the universe. The one thing I will say is that the one thing that I'm bugged by with my GM is it is rather limiting, especially after I've explored my universe, that my GM only allows you to make very basic matches. You can do a normal, which is just the normal matches that you would have. You can do a tables match, an extreme rules match, a Hell in the Cell, or a TLC. Those are the only 5 match types you have. So that's all you get to work with. There's only there's 4 championship titles. So you have the women's championship, the women's tag team, the men's championship, the men's tag team. That's all you get. You don't get any like of the mid-card title things like the Intercontinental Champion or the US Championship or anything like that. So the smaller titles, you don't get to deal with those. So I wish I like the one thing I want with GM is to like expand it more, provide more opportunities to incorporate matches, because you can't even do what is the matches called when you have when you have the male and female superstars team up together against I can't remember the wording for it.
Isn't it
intergender tag team match or something like that?
Something like that, I think.
You can't even do that. Like it's like it's like the women have their own thing, the men have their own thing. You can't cross them together. And it's like, well, I would love it if you could like have like teams like that and stuff. And the it's limiting in what it can do, and just like the expectations. Like I love my universe because like my universe gives you pretty much a playground. You can do whatever the hell you want. do whatever the hell you want, however you want to do it. You control it. You can book the matches any way you want. You're not constrained to a budget, which, you know, I think works for my universe, but I like, for some reason, my dumb weird lizard brain loves having a budget to have to manage instead of just giving complete free reign. Because
Gotcha.
I feel constrained. That's why I like my GM, because I like the budgetary aspects and trying to manage that, rather than in my universe where you're just free reign everything. I also don't think in my GM the classes aren't really. I think it's stupid. I'm gonna be honest. I think it's stupid. You can't pair so basically, like, if I wanted to do this, because you can hire legends. But if I wanted to have a rivalry between Stone Cold Steve Austin and Rey Mysterio, that wouldn't work, because they're both considered faces in my GM.
Okay.
And then Stone Cold Steve Austin is a fighter, I believe, and then Rey Mysterio is a cruiser, and so their match pairing doesn't match up, and so you won't get higher ratings and stuff like that. It's really stupid and annoying, and it makes no sense. Like, just let my wrestlers have rivalries. It's great to have like classes and stuff, because we have that anyways with my Rise anyways, because you have that choice of making the technician, the striker, and all that, and which that's fine and everything, but like, I don't know, for like, it doesn't really make sense in my GM. Like, it's just an extra constraint that doesn't really, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like,
Gotcha.
Yeah. But I've talked a lot about WWE. I really like it. It's really good. I'm a crazy person. I love it.
It's a fun game.
Yeah,
Very
I know.
fun game.
I got two. You should have cut me off at some point.
No, you were enjoying it. It's fun. This basically, you just did a free advertisement for a WWE video game.
Yeah, they should pay me.
They really should.
Call me up anytime. And have you been keeping track of that? Well, you know what? This is not a wrestling podcast. There's been a bunch of drama this week in the wrestling world.
Wouldn't even know it.
Yeah, I've been getting really into wrestling. I've been getting really into wrestling since the start of the pandemic. Because at the start of the pandemic, I was because there was nothing to do in life, and so I subscribed to the WWE network and was watching like all of the stuff from like the 90s.
Oh wow, yeah.
And then when it got moved over to Peacock, and when it went over to Peacock, I followed.
Okay.
And I'm paying for a Peacock now because I just want to watch wrestling stuff.
Hilarious.
But yeah, anyways,
Nice.
that is the what you've been playing. So was there anything else you've been playing, or just
No, just WWE, Trek to Yomi, and Overwatch.
Okay. Nice.
I'm about to try to start some new games to kind of fill that Inscription void, because Inscription is such a great game. I was like, maybe I should run it back, because I did have a good time. But I think I'm gonna play. I'm gonna try to play. It's another favorite game of yours. It's also a card game, Slay the Spire.
Yes, do it.
So I'm thinking about playing that, and so
do not go in there with the expectation that it's like Inscription.
Of course.
It is.
There's only one.
Yeah, Inscription is, I think, a unique beast. Slay the Spire is a true like roguelike thing. You're gonna lose a lot. There's not a story really to follow at all.
Gotcha.
So like, it's just a fun sort of, again, turn your brain off, throw a podcast on, listen to music, do whatever you want. And just have a good time. The beauty about Slay the Spire is that each like run will probably last anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes. So if you have like, you're just looking to spend 20 to 30 minutes just to do something, like say you have to, you're waiting to go to the store or something, you can play Slay the Spire real quick, get it out of the way, and then run to the store and all that sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like,
nice.
So it's very quick, it's very fun. I love it. Just don't go expecting a story or anything, or it to blow your mind, because it's not going to do that. It's just it's probably one of the best card-based games that you can play. So
nice. Okay, cool.
Yeah. But let's move on to the topics for today. EA looking to sell or merge? What craziness is this? Over on Kotaku, in the article by Ethan Gatch. The article is EA looking to sell or merge. I'm gonna take straight from the quote here. This is from the article. In recent years, as media companies have taken greater interest in the rapidly growing gaming industry, Wilson and Electronic Arts have held talks with a number of different potential suitors, including Disney, Apple, and Amazon, sources with knowledge of those talks told me. Several sources familiar with these talks say EA has been persistent in pursuing a sell and has only grown more emboldened in the wake of the Microsoft Activision deal. Others say that EA is primarily interested in a merger arrangement that would allow Wilson to remain as chief executive of the combined company. Elle, what do you think about the news that EA is looking to sell or merge?
This is all Microsoft's fault.
Is it?
No, it's, I mean, we said this the last time. What was the other deal that happened? PlayStation buying, was it PlayStation or someone buying?
It was Embracer Group buying some of Square Enix's studios.
That's right. So this is, I mean, it just seems like it's the way that the video game industry is going, where they're just merging, either merging, selling off, it's just the way of the land right now. And so I'm not super surprised. I wonder why though. It is a little bit of surprise because I feel like, I could be wrong, but I feel like EA with Madden and Apex Legends and stuff, I would think that they're okay, but maybe they're more so wanting to, because it says, I think they're more so want to merge to possibly grow them more versus just like giving away everything. And so I think maybe they more so want to merge if they can, if it's like a good deal for them and whoever wants to do that, if they do it. And so I think they're more so trying to, look at everybody else to see what's the rest of the field and be like, okay, what can we do to kind of boost ourselves up and kind of keep these games growing and our IPs growing as well. And so I'm not surprised. It's just the way that things are going now,
Yeah, I think I mentioned this last week too, that this is just turning into like the film industry, the music industry, where it's just a few big sort of tentpole companies that are, that's how it's gonna be in the video game industry. We're gonna have a few tentpole companies that kind of controls everything. As horrible as that might sound, it's not quite a monopoly, but even though a lot of people want to point and say this is gonna turn into a monopoly, it's been like the film industry has been like that for a while now. The music industry has been like that for a while now. So it's like, I mean, you can talk about the music industry better than I can, but that's how it is, right? In the music industry, there's basically like a few big record labels within.
Then minor labels, and then under those minor labels are more minor labels.
Yeah,
it's just like it's one big company that owns all these sub things, and it's like a few companies that own all these things. So same thing, like you said, with the film industry as well. There's a few companies that kind of own a bunch of others, small production companies and so on and so forth. And so I think maybe it was just a matter of time, but it's always interesting to me when news comes up of this. I'm like, wow, okay, so now it's them, because then it makes you think, who's next? Like, who else is going to be like, hey, we also want to sell, or we want to merge or something, So
and like Ubisoft is also looking to apparently wants to sell as well. So it's like all of these big big third parties that we've always heard of. Like growing up, it was always EA, Ubisoft, Activision, right? Like, I mean, we had PlayStation, we had Nintendo, we had Microsoft, but those were like the console developers, and then EA, Ubisoft, Activision brought the games, and now it's like all these they're going away now. It's like
now they're going away.
It's so bizarre. It's so weird, and it's just the direction of the video game world. It's not this. I don't necessarily want to say this is a bad thing, but also it isn't a good thing either. Like it's that weird. It's like the weird gray area. I mean,
what's crazy? Oh, sorry. I was going to say what's crazy to me is, in that quote that you read, it says the potential suitors included like Disney, Apple, and Amazon, which Amazon kind of makes sense because they have their own thing as far as like gaming. But like, I was like, now Disney, I'm like, Disney wants to get into the video game place?
Technically Disney has LucasArts and stuff. So
that's right. Never mind. But it's so crazy to me. But I guess it makes sense. It's these big players wanting to get more pieces. Yeah. And so they kind of, they're trying to expand the brand and be like, hey, now we have this. It's turning into kind of like what you said before, where EA and everybody else, where it's like, here's the games and you guys are just developing the hardware. It's kind of like the same way. It feels like it's apps, like streaming apps. You know how when it first started, people were like, you got to have cable. And then people were like, I don't want all these channels. I just want this channel, this channel, and this channel. And then now it's going to be funny if one day it's just going to be like, well, if you want to play these games, you have to buy this streaming service for EA games, and you have to buy this streaming service.
Well, I mean, we technically already have that because they have EA
true.
Play.
Oh, yeah.
You have
Oh,
Ubisoft.
yeah, that's right.
You have Ubisoft Plus. Activision Blizzard never had one.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I think maybe it's just Ubisoft and EA. I can't think of any other ones. I mean, other than like Game Pass and PlayStation Plus and all that. But
yeah, they act more like a library, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, so they're more so of a library.
But like the EA Play is very specifically, you get all of the EA catalog. Ubisoft Plus or whatever the hell it's called is very specifically all of the Ubisoft stuff. I think EA has a little bit of extra things too, but yeah.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
It is. It'll be interesting to see how things shape up. Again, it's neither a good nor bad thing. It's just sort of, it is what it is. And
yeah,
honestly, there's not much we can do about it. Like just average. Yeah. And I like, it's one of those things too. Like how many, the audience, the average gamer, how many are even aware that any of this is actually happening? You know what I mean?
Very
like,
true. Yeah.
For me, it's like I live and breathe video games. I constantly consume video game news. I'm always listening to video game news podcasts and reading articles and stuff like that because I love video games.
Mm-hmm.
But I also like when I talk to my dad about any of this stuff. My dad, he's, I would say, average gamer. He dabbles in World of Warcraft. He plays Flight Simulator. He plays Skyrim and stuff like that. But he doesn't pay attention to the news. And so like when I mentioned to him, he's like, wait, what? What's going on? Microsoft's doing what? They're buying Blizzard? And I'm like, yeah. What is that going to do for World of Warcraft? And like, I don't know, Dad, we'll see. But like, if I wouldn't have told him that, he probably would have never known. He probably wouldn't have known until Microsoft logo pops up at World of Warcraft, and my dad will be like, "What does Microsoft have to do with this?" But like, it's like, yeah. So it's that sort of thing. Like, how much of the average consumer of video games actually knows what the hell is going on?
To be honest, I almost feel like a majority probably do not even know that this is going on.
Yeah.
Just because when you think about it as a consumer, you're not. If you're into video games, you play video games, most of the time you're only thinking about buying the game. You're not really thinking about the developer because, I mean, like you said, unless you're interested in like the company and stuff or the developers and stuff like that, you're going to look that up. But for the most part, I'm pretty sure people just go, let's just say, for example, Grand Theft Auto 5 or whatever. They're like, maybe they talk about Rockstar. Wait, that might be a bad example. Maybe they, let's just say because everybody talks about Rockstar, like bring 6 out. But anyway, most of the time people are just like, cool, new game, give it to me. They don't think about the people who made the game or the companies or anything behind it. Yeah. Once they're done, they're like, wow, I can't wait for the next one. And they forget about it, or they keep playing the game and so on and so forth. So yeah, like my question would be like, how many people actually know who Kojima is? Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
they've played all of Metal Gear Solid, but do they actually know like Kojima's role in it and like how much he dedicated his life to that game, to that series of games? Like, do people actually know, like, because he was the project manager, he was the director, he was like everything for that. So, but how many people actually know that? You know what I mean? Like, they play the game, they turn the brain off, they move on. Maybe they see the Kojima name pop up a couple of times and they're like, oh yeah, Kojima, that's just another person working on the game.
Exactly.
Like, that sort of thing. Like, I'm always interested in knowing, because like it's easy for me to say that, to know who this is, who this person is, who these video game companies are, what games they are making.
Yeah.
Like like the old meme thing of your grandma's going to the store to buy a Nintendo. Like, I just want the latest Nintendo, but doesn't know like. But you asked for an Xbox, but they think it's like that whole stupid thing. Like, people still make the mistake and don't really, it is what it is. I think more people are becoming more familiar with it, but like, I don't think it's necessarily, it's definitely not like, movies where you recognize the actors and stuff like that.
Exactly. I would say a good comparison of that would be which maybe it's gotten better over the years. I think maybe in mainstream is directors in movies.
Yeah.
Like, learning, because after you kind of get familiar with directors, you kind of see their styles and you like, oh, this is very much a Martin Scorsese film or a Sam Raimi film or, stuff like that. And so it's sometimes some people, they're just like, I don't care about who directed this. I just care whether or not I enjoy this movie. Yeah. But it's gotten better where people love certain styles and they go, I wonder who made this. And then, they get interested.
But even then, like, what would be the percentile for that to go? Yeah, I love this director. I love Taika Waititi. He's directing.
Not a lot.
Do you know who Taika Waititi is?
Yeah, I know who he is.
Who is he? What did he do?
Taika Waititi did the I was gonna say the rabbit. Oh,
I was being a gatekeeper there.
That's hilarious. Yeah, you don't know what's his first film. You don't know what
you're doing. Dude, he made the like funniest. He did the vampire documentary Into the Darkness or whatever it's called.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about? It's not called Into the Darkness, but he did the vampire mockumentary thing. Oh, it was so good. It was so good.
He's a really good director.
Oh yeah. He's fantastic. Anyways, but yeah. Sorry, I was mean in that. I shouldn't have been aggressive like that. I apologize. No. Yeah. Fuck you.
I don't apologize. Hilarious.
Yeah, I'm not worried about any of this really. It'll be interesting to see if I'm sure somebody will scoop up. Maybe it'll be Embracer Group. Maybe it'll be Tencent. Tencent has its like claws in everything. Tencent actually controls a lot more than you realize. Tencent is a Chinese company that has its claws in everything. Pretty much every single company out there is Tencent has not controlling, but has like shareholding in each, like a lot of the video game companies. So it'll be interesting.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah. Moving on to a look at the PS Plus tiers and games. So we got a full list over on the PlayStation blog about all the games that are going to be coming to the various different tiers. I'm not going to run through every single list because that's a lot to go through. But some standouts: if you're in the PlayStation Plus Extra, you're going to get PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 games. Some of those games include Days Gone, Demon's Souls, the Last of Us Remastered, Until Dawn, the Uncharted collection, all the Uncharted games. From some third parties, you're going to get Far Cry. So you can play Far Cry if you want, Elias, if you don't want to try, because we talked about that last week. So
yeah. I get it. That's why I left.
You can do For Honor. I don't know why I said For Honor, but that's the one I just looked at. Does anybody still play For Honor? Do you know what For Honor was?
Yeah, I knew what it was. I think I saw a couple streamers play it, and then it quickly died out.
Yeah. Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to be on it. It looks like. Yeah,
nice.
Red Dead Redemption
Great game.
2. Yep. South Park Fractured Butthole. I love the South Park games. Have you played them?
Yes. Yeah, really I played them. They're so fun. So funny too.
Yeah. And then over in the classic games that you need the Premium Plus, there's a whole bunch of them. Ape Escape. They have Siphon Filter, Tekken 2.
Oh, wow.
They have Ape Escape 2. You get the Jack games.
Oh, nice.
From third parties, you're gonna get BioShock Remastered, Borderlands. So and then, of course, on the premium side of things, you have the PS3 original games that you can get. So they're going to be streaming the Infamous games, which is cool. You're going to get all the Ratchet and Clank games, which is cool. So if you like Ratchet and Clank, and a little game that I love, that I don't know how many people actually love, Tokyo Jungle. Do you know what Tokyo Jungle is?
I haven't heard of that.
Oh man, you play as an animal living in Tokyo. It's amazing. Really? You play. It's like in a post-apocalyptic world. It's a survival game in a post-apocalyptic world, a post-apocalyptic Tokyo, and you play as an animal, a random animal, and you just try to survive.
Oh wow, I'm watching gameplay of it right now.
It's amazing. I love this game so much.
Wow.
It's really not that good, but I love it. Any game where I can just play an animal trying to survive in the wild in this post-apocalyptic Tokyo, I'll do it. So
this is really random, but sorry to derail it. Isn't there a game coming out where you can play as that cat in that cyberpunk city?
Yeah, it is. what is it called? It's on the list here because it's gonna be coming, right? No, is it not on this list? I thought I saw it somewhere.
It was like, speaking of animals in cities.
The cat game coming. The cat game coming to PlayStation 5. What is it called? Stray. It's called Stray.
Right.
I like the fact that I can just type in the cat game coming to PS5 on Google and it takes me to Stray.
This is what you mean.
Yeah, it's Stray. The cat game coming to PS5 is Stray. But yeah, that game looks cool too. I'm excited to play that. Again, anytime I can play as an animal in something, I'm excited by. So, my question for you: do any of these things make you want to try the higher tiers? Like, are you interested in any of these tiers? Like, looking at the games list.
Yeah, definitely.
I've been seeing like mixed responses. This isn't good. This is crap. And my response is, I see no value. For me personally, I do not see value in the premium tier because I don't really care if I play any of those classic games. On the other hand, I see myself upgrading to the plus extra tier because there are games that I want to play that I have not played yet. Like the Demon Souls by Blue Point, which was a remake. Blue Point just remastered Demon Souls. So I would love to play that. Ghost of Tsushima, the director's cut. I haven't gotten a chance to play Iki Island, whatever it's called, and Ghost of Tsushima's extra content. So that would be great to have. I haven't played Returnal yet, and so I would love to play Returnal. So yeah, I see myself doing the plus extra tier, but I don't see myself going beyond that because there's no classic games that say, "Hey, come play me."
Gotcha. I know it does interest me a lot. I actually do enjoy the higher tier because I grew up playing. I mean, for me, something as simple as playing all the Jack and Daxter games or the Ratchet and Clank classic games. Because I don't necessarily have those on hand. I don't have a PlayStation to play them anymore. Yeah. And so to kind of go back and play those again, or even when you said the classic games such as like Ape Escape and Hot Shots Golf, I'm like, damn, I remember playing those as, it's very nostalgic for me. Yeah. And so I'm like, wow, I wouldn't mind playing that for a little bit. Now, as far as I might play it a little bit to just kind of get that feeling again, but then I don't see myself like having the service for a long period of time. For example, like once I get done and playing with them, then I'm like, okay, all right, unless maybe they add even more classic games to it, which I'm pretty sure they will down the road. But this is just kind of like the first little like, hey, this is what we're offering. Yeah, this is the first wave of it. So, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I won't say never. I'm never going to upgrade to a higher tier, but I definitely see myself doing the extra plus, because I do think there's more value for me in that because there's a lot of PlayStation 4 games, a lot of PS5 games that because of money constraints and stuff, I haven't been able to get to. But yeah, the classics, it's not exciting to me in any way, shape, or form. But it's also, I'm looking at the list. It's like, it's just not for me, Yeah. Now, I will say, if by perchance they add the Persona games, Persona 1, 2, and 3, because there's no other way to play them really except on PlayStation or PSP, and I don't have a PlayStation and I don't have a PSP. Then I would probably do that because I would update because I'd love the Persona games. I love Persona 4. I love Persona 5. I would love to go back and play Persona 1, 2, and 3. So yeah, I would subscribe for like the 2 months, maybe 3 months that it would take me to beat those games, and then after that probably would unsubscribe because
I get that.
Yeah, because obviously it will depend on like what games are going to be there, how often, how long, and how long those games are going to be there, because like the third-party games, I assume they're gonna rotate out, like on Xbox side of things. I'm gonna assume because Xbox rotates the third-party stuff out. We have new games coming and going every month on the Xbox side of things, so I'm assuming that's what's gonna happen because I know PlayStation Now, before it got bundled into this, that's what PlayStation Now did as well, where it would rotate things out. There was things that stayed on there for like ever, but there was also a lot of things getting rotated out as well. So it'll be interesting to see like what that rotation is, how often it's going to happen. Is it going to happen every single month, or is it going to happen every 2 or 3 months? You know,
yeah, exactly.
The PlayStation has stated that they're never going to do like day and date games, at least for their games. So like whatever the next God of War is, don't expect it to be day one on the PlayStation Plus stuff. Which, you know, it is what it is. They're playing a different game than what Xbox is doing. But you know, I think, but we'll see what happens. You know. Because PlayStation may say now, like right now, it's definitive hard. We're not going to put stuff. We're not going to do day and date, and then a year from now, day one, Spider-Man, Wolverine, whatever, you know, whatever other games are going to like. Well, you know, we were wrong. We're going to put day one stuff.
I think that's them just trying to hold on to that last bit of like.
Yeah.
I don't know why they don't want to give in to that, because like Xbox is good about that, and so maybe they're like, no, we want to do our own thing, but then. I bet if they try it once, they can be like, "Oh, people actually like this." Then they'll switch over. It'll take some time.
Yeah, I mean, well, it is what it is. What do you think would come first? Day one on PlayStation, on the PlayStation Plus, or day one on PC? I think PC would come first, probably.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, PC probably it makes a lot more sense.
I think there would be more value in the PC, because then you would,
of course.
You'd be reaching a like almost completely different audience.
Exactly. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So yeah,
nice.
But that's cool. I think they have a good. I do think the list of games they have, even though it's not for me, I think the list is solid. I think there's a lot of games here that you can play, a lot of games that are gonna reach different. There's a wide variety of games, I should say, that I think a lot of people will be able to find something to play and connect with. You know, on top of the fact that you get, you know, 2, 3, 4 games a month for free that aren't going to be on that list. You know what I mean? Because they're still going to be giving you 2, 3, 4 games, however many games. I think it's going to be 3, I believe. But, you know, so they're still going to have that. Also, the other thing that's coming too is Ubisoft Classic games are coming to PS Plus. They're going to be bundled in there. So over on the Twitter of Ubisoft, they made the announcement that Ubisoft Plus, and then a handshake emoji with PlayStation. Ubisoft is coming to PlayStation. Stay tuned for more news in the future. In the meantime, introducing Ubisoft Plus Classics, bringing 27 games to PlayStation Plus from May 24th onwards, I guess. So the interesting thing about this is I've been seeing a lot of people go, look, we got Ubisoft games. That's better than Xbox. The thing here is that Ubisoft Plus is also coming to Xbox. So that's not a huge win. The main difference is that there are going to be classic games specific to the PlayStation tier. Not PlayStation. The Ubisoft Plus is still going to be its own thing. It's still going to be like the more recent games are going to probably stay exclusive to the Ubisoft Plus thing. But the classic games, like, you know, they already have some on the list to begin with. So I don't think this is as I don't think this is as big as people are trying to make it out sound like in the Twitter sphere of the world. When I go on Twitter and I see people talk about like, see, we're better, but it's like, well, no, you're missing the fact that they're also coming to Xbox because so it's
that's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
I mean, yay for them and stuff like that, but again, so yeah, on the tweet, there's also a link to a blog post on the Ubisoft website that has a list of the games that are going to be coming day one to the I shouldn't say day one, but it gives you a list of the 27 titles coming. So we have Assassin's Creed Valhalla, For Honor, The Crew, Division, Trials Fusion, Watch Dogs, but there's still distinct like chunks missing from it, like Rainbow Six Siege and all of that. We got the latest Assassin's Creed game, but we don't get they don't get any of the other Assassin's Creed games. So, and they're not even getting the latest Far Cry games either. You only get it's getting Far Cry 4, Far Cry 3, Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. So there's still like glaring holes in it. So it's not So
that's so crazy, but it's interesting. I looked at the list and I was like, none of these really entice me.
You mean Risk Urban Assault doesn't excite you?
You mean legendary fishing that's on the list does not excite?
You mean Trials doesn't excite you? Trials is perfect.
Trials, it's a fun game, but
I already own
no.
it, so it doesn't matter.
Exactly. Obviously, I own it too. So
you mean you don't want to do legendary fishing? Come on, man. Some
no.
Space Junkies?
It's Space Junkies. No,
I have no idea. I have no idea.
I
what
don't
Space
either.
Junkies is. I hope it's a good game. But yeah, so that's cool. Again, I don't necessarily think this is a big, huge like game, earth-shattering change and everything. Again, it is what it is. If you go over to Xbox Game Pass, you see a lot of Ubisoft games over on Xbox Game Pass, so it's like, okay, whatever. And then the Ubisoft Plus is going to exist on Xbox as well, alongside EA Plus and Game Pass. So it is what it is.
Exactly.
But it is what it is. It is fun. Have you ever tried Ubisoft Plus at all?
No, I haven't tried it before. I think I haven't tried it.
Yeah, it's fine. It's like, honestly, it's only it's only valuable for you if you like Ubisoft games. Like,
exactly.
if you're itching to play Siege, if you're itching to play an Assassin's Creed game, they do, like, I believe they do day and date release. So like Valhalla was there day one, I believe. I might be making that up. Apologies if I'm making that up. But yeah, so it's only valuable if you like Ubisoft games. I mean, it's the same with like EA Play. If you don't like EA games, there's no reason to get EA Play. So
exactly, yeah.
The other cool thing that I think is interesting, and I'm interested to see what else is going to come of this. Trophies are coming to some PS1 classic games. Well, specifically one. So if you go over to, again, Twitter, Bend Studio released a little GIF. How do you pronounce it? I guess it's a video.
Yeah, but it's a video.
Agency Intel reports that Siphon Filter will include trophies when it arrives on all new PlayStation Plus. And then they responded with, and yes, you can earn the platinum too. So it's cool. They're retroactively adding trophy lists for those trophy hunters out there. They're adding trophies to the games and stuff. This is the only one that's been confirmed to have trophies, but it would be cool if like other classic games also get the trophy treatment and stuff. Do you care about that at all? Do you care about trophy hunting?
I think at one point I enjoyed it, but then after a while I kind of stopped caring about it. I'm more so just, if I enjoy finishing the game, then that's cool enough for me. Yeah,
it's one of those things. Like I am a trophy hunter. My goal is to I just 3 years ago when I got a PlayStation 4 and then immediately pre-ordered the PlayStation 5. It was a weird decision I made on my end. It happened all in the same year, I should say. I decided to get one platinum a month. Work towards one platinum a month. So far this year, have not done it at all. Haven't gotten a single platinum this year at all. But for at least, and this was also at the start of the pandemic too, 2 years ago. So it's like when I was sitting at home, nothing really to do except sit around on my ass, work from home and all that. I was striving to do one platinum trophy a month. So I am a hunter. And I think this is cool. It's not enough to make me want to chase after the tier, because I have no connection to Siphon Filter. I don't even know if I ever played it when I was younger. I knew about it. Like, I had friends that played it, in like middle school, high school, and all that when it was coming around. But I never played it. So it is what it is. But I do think that's cool. I think it's especially if you're a huge fan of Siphon Filter, I think that's cool for you to chase after something in the game, you know what I mean? And it'd be cool if they retroactively add more to the trophies to other games. I'm sure it's going to be up to like the developers and all that, and then you know what I mean? It's going to be do they want to put the work into adding trophies to those games and stuff? Exactly. Is it going to be worth it?
I remember I played Siphon Filter way back when it came out, and I think I remember playing the demo, but then my brain, I almost got it confused with Splinter Cell because So like, of course, I was thinking of I forgot the guy's the name, the main character you play as with the night vision goggles that he has.
Sam
and I was
Fisher?
like,
You talking about
Sam Fisher? Yeah,
talking about Sam Fisher? Dude,
Yeah.
he my boy.
Sam Fisher. But I remember playing Siphon Filter. Wow, it brought back a memory. I was like, oh yeah, I do remember playing this.
Yeah,
but
I remember the Splinter Cell games.
Yeah,
but I don't remember. I see a picture of Siphon Filter and I'm like, okay, yeah, I've seen it. I know for a fact I didn't play it though. So
yeah,
like it is what it is. So yeah, I do think so. Like I bundled all of this PlayStation news together because that's a lot of PlayStation news. I think all of this is fantastic news, especially if you're already in the PlayStation ecosystem. And again, I do think the tiers. I think each tier provides something different for the players, for those who are seeking the classics. I'm going to be interested to see how many classics that get added, if things get removed, when things get removed, what that cadence is going to be. I'm interested in seeing if more of these classic games are going to get trophies. There's just a lot that I'm interested in seeing how this develops, or if it's just going to go off to the side and Sony's not going to give a shit about it. As long as you're paying for the subscription, as long as you pay for that subscription, they don't actually care. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
Because that's kind of how they were with PlayStation Now.
Maybe someone's trying to turn that ship around. They're trying to be like, hey, we can have something. We can be like Game Pass.
Yeah.
You know? And so
I will say right now, I do not think this is as good of a deal as Game Pass. I will say that. But I think if you're in the PlayStation ecosystem, this is a good enough deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Like it still doesn't have the value of Game Pass, but it's itching closer.
Yeah, I think with time it'll be kind of like on that close to Game Pass level. I
agree. And like we gotta remember too, Game Pass was horrible when it launched.
At first.
So when it launched back in 2017 or whatever it was, 26. Yep. Yeah, it was now horrible. Look at them. And but now I will say I've been a subscriber to Game Pass since it launched. So I've even when it had like nothing and all you could play was Sea of Thieves. And Sea of Thieves wasn't even worth it at the time because Sea of Thieves launched with virtually nothing to do. So,
yeah. Oh my god.
But now it pulled a No Man's Sky and is now there's a lot of crap to do.
Exactly.
Did you ever play Sea of Thieves or ever like pay attention to it?
Yeah, I paid attention to it. I never played it, but I watched a lot of people play it, and it does. That world looks really cool because I do remember when it first came out and people were complaining about it, but then kind of like that, like you were saying, that No Man's Sky route, they kind of the developers and everybody who created it, they were like, actually, here we have stuff now, and it made me want to be like, maybe I should look into this and play this a little bit. So I have seen people play it. It does look fun now that there's things to do.
Yeah. I know last year, I want to say it was like around October, maybe a little bit before then, they teamed up with Pirates of the Caribbean. So you have Captain Jack Sparrow in there and stuff. And they have like a whole story arc with him and everything. So they've added a lot of stuff to do, a lot of stuff to play around with. And like the mechanics of that game are actually really freaking good. Like it feels great to play it. But we're getting off track here because this is not this is not a Sea of Thieves thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, PS Plus, yay or nay? Do you like it? Do you like the deal?
I do like it.
All right. You heard it here, folks, first. You heard it here first. Ell absolutely hates PlayStation. Got it.
I hate PlayStation. Get out of here. No.
Yeah.
It'll get better.
It will. I have complete faith that it will get better. I as much as I joked around and said that Sony's just going to ignore it. I doubt Sony is just going to ignore this. I'm sure they have like a plan and a route they're going to take. And it's just one of those things we're gonna have to do a wait and see. The one thing I will say that I kind of miss from PlayStation Now, a series of games that did not that got cut. Trials of Cold Steel is not on there. It's a Japanese RPG that is wonderful and everybody should go play. And that's enough of that. Hopefully it returns to PlayStation Plus. Everybody, go play Trials of Cold Steel 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
It's a big commitment, but because each of those games is like 100 hours long.
Oh my god! Wow.
I've only actually made it through number 1 and halfway through number 2, but I love it. I will one day get back to it. But it was on PlayStation Now for a while. You could get 1 and 2, I believe, on PlayStation Now.
Okay.
Because like because when I went to go buy Trials of Code Steel, this was like probably of September, August of last year. Because it was on sale, but it also had the PlayStation Now logo next to it. Like you can just rent it through PlayStation Now. Anyways, not important. Moving on. So some big news. I don't know if you're a big fan, but Fall Guys is going free to play, and it's coming to Xbox and Switch on June 21st. And on top of that, they're adding a create your own course.
That's really cool.
Do you like Fall Guys? Did you ever play Fall Guys?
Oh yeah, definitely. I remember when it first came out. I remember I saw everybody talking about it. You know, it was like it took over like the gaming industry for a little bit.
Oh yeah.
And I remember I was like, I need to play this, so I went ahead and bought it for PC, and I was playing it and addicted to it. And I was like, wow, this is so much fun. Like just the courses that they had, even though it wasn't that many, it was just like they just kind of switched around a few that they had created. And yeah, I played it for a while, and then just one day I was like, no, I'm not gonna play this, and then I stopped playing it. But I did play it for a while there.
Yeah, same. Like when it came out, I played it on PlayStation 4 because it was free on PlayStation 4. Because it released day one on through PlayStation Plus stuff, so it was like the free game for that month. Played it through there. Played it for like about a week, 2 weeks, and then I sporadically went back to like try to chase after some of the unlockable like costumes and stuff. Let me tell you, this game has some of the coolest costumes ever.
Yeah,
they're adorable as hell. Like, even every costume is adorable. Like even the ones that are supposed to be like zombies and stuff like that, they're still adorable as all hell. There was like a time. There was a time. This was back when it first came out, where like McDonald's, Walmart, KFC, and stuff were like trying to get costumes of their stuff, of their brand in game and crap. So
yeah, I remember that. Oh my god,
man, Fall Guys! I'm excited about it. Like, I mean, going free to play is really cool.
Definitely.
This is definitely. I foresee this getting like a new sort of life. Especially with coming to Xbox, coming to Switch, and then this creating your own courses. I can only imagine the kind of bullshit people are going to create.
Yes.
It's going to be like the Mario Maker. You know how in Mario Maker people create some of the hardest fucking things in the world? That is what's going to happen with Fall Guys. People are going to create those rage-inducing levels, and you're just going to be like, ah!
That's what I was thinking. I was like, because this is like, I think it will breathe new life into the game, because definitely kind of like how Mario, like you said, Mario Maker is, when you kind of give tools to just the people who play the game, and they're gonna create these crazy extravagant levels, and it's just gonna bring in, like I said, a whole new life, and people are gonna be like, wow, and then it's just gonna cause people to, hey, what about this course, and I think it'll just create a lot of cool things.
Yeah, you're gonna have the word of mouth of, you gotta play this course. Did you see what they created here? Oh my god! And like it's gonna be fun. It'll be interesting to see if like you'll be able to bring your own assets in, like your own texture packs and stuff like that, and add your own little flair. Like we're going back to WWE 2K22. Like WWE 2K22, you can bring in like your own assets and stuff into the game. If you can create them, upload them, and they come in. So it'll be interesting to see what people create and all of that. Like again, I think Fall Guys, like I'm not the biggest fan of Fall Guys, but I think Fall Guys is an incredibly fun game that it is a good like it's again one of those games that you can easily kind of turn your brain off and just listen to music, listen to a podcast or something. I mean, you do have to be like more hands-on and pay more attention, but it's also like not the end of the world if you lose.
Of course, because you just get out and go to a new game. Yeah,
you get out, go out, and have fun. Like this is a battle royale, right? Like Fall Guys would technically be considered a battle royale, but it's not like Fortnite level or Warzone level or Apex Legends where you have to be focused and dialed in at all times.
Exactly.
Fall Guys, it's just stupid, dumb fun. Do you remember on Xbox the Doritos Crash Courses?
Oh man, I love those games.
That's what Fall Guys, like that was like the early version of Fall Guys.
Basically. I remember you're the one that put me onto those. And I remember I was playing them, and I was like, "This is so much fun! Just the running, going through the courses.
Yeah.
So it's so fun and simple. And so I love. Oh man,
getting knocked off and
knocked.
you had your I can't the Xbox avatars. You just run with them through the levels and stuff. Yeah.
So much fun.
Fall Guys though, I'm excited. I'm interested in seeing again 21st. I imagine new life, and again, I think a lot of that new life is going to come through the create your own courses. Again, I'm looking forward to seeing. I'm looking forward to seeing the bullshit levels people are going to create, because some asshole out there is going to make it like it's going to be a pixel. You're going to have to do pixel perfect jumps. You know what I mean? Like you're one pixel off, you're gone. You're out. You're eliminated. And people are it's going to drive people insane, and it's going to be amazing. I don't know if I will actually. Well, I will dive in for probably a week, and maybe like occasionally if I see people go, yeah, you need to play this level, I'll probably go back. But I think my Fall Guys got out of me, but I do look forward. I do get excited by the news and stuff, because Fall Guys is fun. It's also like a small indie team. Well, it was a small indie team. They're now owned by Epic. So this, if you didn't know that, Fall Guys, the group that made Fall Guys is now owned by Epic. So sort of like it's going the route of what was that, Rocket League? Do you remember Rocket League?
Yeah.
They're both Epic games now. But, man, freaking Epic is just cornering the store for like some of the best freaking free-to-play things. Because Rocket League is really good. Fortnite's really good. Fall Guys is really good. All of those are free-to-play.
Yeah.
All of those are really good.
Oh, yeah, definitely. This will be good.
Yeah. But moving on to Warzone 2 leaks. I don't really have much to talk about because I haven't played Call of Duty in forever. But I thought this was interesting, getting the news that Modern Warfare 2 was confirmed. This is an article from GameSpot, right? Yeah, GameSpot by S.E. Doster. Warzone 2 and Modern Warfare 2 leak surface. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is confirmed to be arriving later this year, and with the reveal date likely approaching, more leaks and rumors are surfacing on Infinity's Ward upcoming release. On May 18th, the notable Call of Duty leaker, the MW2 Ghost, tweeted a claim that they've seen the upcoming map they believe will be used for Warzone 2 and the rumored DMZ mode coming to Modern Warfare 2, which leakers suggest is an Escape from Tarkov-inspired survival mode. I guess my question for you here is, this is the first Battle Royale that's sort of getting a sequel. So what does that do for you? Does it do anything for you? Do you care at all about this idea of a sequel Warzone and kind of taking its new approach to make it more like the what is it called, the Escape from Tarkov? Did you ever play Escape from Tarkov?
No, I never played it. Warzone for me, it doesn't do much. I'm always looking at Warzone every now and then. But ever since it kind of went into that Battle Royale thing, I was like, I'm not interested in that. Yeah. And I was like, But because really the only thing I enjoyed as far as Call of Duty was like zombies. And so zombies were always fun, and I enjoyed like just beating the levels, especially from like Black Ops 2 and stuff. And so that's the only really thing I cared about.
Same. I think it's interesting. I'm eager to see, since this is a sequel, if it's true. Obviously this is just a rumor. These are leaks. The leaks may not necessarily be what they say they are. You know what I mean? So it will be interesting to see how different this would be from just Warzone 1. How different Warzone 2 is going to be. Is it taking more of the survival elements from Escape from Tarkov? I've never played Escape from Tarkov, but I know my little cousin, he's obsessed with it. He plays it all the time. I shouldn't say little anymore. He's not little. He's like, he's about to be 21. My God. Do you remember my little cousin? You played Halo with him before.
Yeah, I think I do remember him.
You got angry.
Yeah.
It was funny. Granted, he was only like 11 when you.
Of course.
But yeah, he plays that all the time with his friends and stuff. So I don't know. I'm interested to see, is this going to bring people over to Warzone? But yeah, I have no stake in this. I just thought it was interesting information. So probably shouldn't have included it.
No, it's fine. I think they're just trying to try something new to, kind of spice it up. And
I mean, have you seen what they have going on right now? They have
No,
Kong
what's going on?
versus Godzilla.
Oh yeah, that actually seemed kind of cool. I saw
Yeah.
like random clips of it, and I was like, "Holy hell, this actually seems kind of cool."
Yeah,
It made me want to play that just for that mode.
just for
And
that.
so-
Yeah.
just for that, because I'm like, "Wow, that's so cool." But yeah, they're in a way, Call of Duty is basically doing what that Kong thing kind of felt like what Fortnite does, where they're like, "Ooh, this character's in here now." Like I just saw today that Obi-Wan is coming to Fortnite, and because
yes. Because
And
of the
so-
Obi-Wan show.
Yeah, because the Obi-Wan show. And so you have all these characters and stuff, and now Call of Duty's like, well, guess what? We got Godzilla and King Kong.
Yeah.
And so, it's
I mean,
cool. It's
Obi-Wan is arguably
good.
more cool.
Yeah.
I'm also a Star Wars fan, so that's why.
Of course.
But yeah,
I want to see them versus Obi-Wan.
this just made me think about this. Are you familiar with Total Accurate Battle Simulator?
Yeah.
A streamer that I watch,
Mhm.
he also is the writer for Rogue One, Star Wars Rogue One.
Okay.
Gary Whitta. He did a stream over the weekend, and he was playing Total Accurate Battle Simulator, whatever the hell the actual word is what the game's called. But he did like 1 million zombies versus 50 John Wicks. It was the funniest thing ever, because the John Wicks, it was just like an endless stream of bullets, and the zombies
oh my
were
Lord.
the
Just
John Wicks
piling
won.
up in-
The John Wicks won.
That of course they would.
I would love to see, like, it made me go, man, I want to see John Wick in a zombie movie. Can you imagine?
That'd be crazy. I wouldn't be surprised if it comes out in a few years.
John Wick 7, The Rise
John
of the
Wick.
Zombies.
Rise of the Zombies, and then his dog comes back, and he's conflicted because his dog. Do I kill my own dog?
Well, I mean, by that point, the dog is decomposed and stuff, right? It's not important. I
No,
shouldn't.
it's not important. They'll find a way. It's okay.
Life finds a way. That's a little bit of Jurassic Park for you. Are you excited about the new Jurassic Park movie?
Kind of, sort of, just to see. Even though, like, I kind of feel like, of course, maybe for me, it won't be as good as the older ones, but still, it's always interesting. It's kind of like a blockbuster type of movie, so it's always cool to see the action sequences.
Yeah, I have not seen a single of the new Jurassic Park, the Jurassic World.
Oh, okay.
I've seen bits and pieces of the very first one.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The Jurassic World, of whatever, was it just called Jurassic World, right?
I think just Jurassic World. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see the sequel, and I've just seen bits and pieces, and I'm like, I have no interest. I don't really care about Jurassic World Park. Anyway, it's not important because that's not game related. Now let's move on to Xbox Series S outsells PlayStation in Japan. Again, this is not really that. This is not as big news as people make it out to be.
Yeah.
It is an interesting factoid. But this is a very specific amount of time, and there's a lot of factors surrounding it. So over on GameSpot, on an article by George Yang, Xbox outsells PlayStation in Japan for the first time since 2014. This is from the article, according to Famitsu, during the week of May 9th through May 15th, the Xbox Series S console sold 6,120 units. Sales of the PlayStation 5 disc version and digital edition consoles were 2,240 and 439 respectively, for a combined total of 2,693 units. This specific incident is most likely due to the low supply of PlayStation 5 consoles, whereas Xbox Series S supply is more plentiful. Last year, Sony reportedly told analysts the shortages for its consoles will continue through 2022. The last time a similar situation happened was when the Xbox One was first released and back in Japan in 2014, clocking in 23,562 units sold during its launch week, compared to the 6,373 units sold of PlayStation 4 consoles during that same time period. Backtracking, because I threw a lot of numbers at you there. I'm sorry. This was a week period. This is just a 1 week period out of, we're going into 2 years now of these consoles. This is not as big of a deal But this is impressive. This is an impressive number, 6,120 units. Xbox historically never does well in Japan at all. It's always been a Nintendo and PlayStation stronghold, but it is interesting to know that Xbox is making strides. And yeah, it's nowhere near as big as as important as people are making it out to be, but it is an interesting fact, especially when you look back that the last time this happened was in 2014.
Wow. But it makes sense though, just because like you're saying, the first thought that came into my head when you were talking about it and you mentioned it was I'm pretty sure it's because there's a short amount of the PlayStation parts in order to build it. And so I'm pretty sure if there was plentiful PlayStations, it's probably would outsell Xbox over there. So it would like without a doubt. I mean, because like even. The best way to bring this is like even here in the United States, PlayStation 5 it's not next to impossible to get. You can get it if you really, if you want it.
If you really, really want it and you're willing to go out of your way to get it, you can get it. Xbox Series X or Xbox Series S on the other hand, I've never had any trouble at all seeing it. The whole reason I even got one was because of the fact that every time I've gone into the Walmart that's like down the road from me, it's there, it's on the shelves, so it's easily accessible. Like I would have preferred a Series X, but I can't find an X anywhere. So PlayStation 5, it's the same, kind of in the same boat of Xbox Series X. It's short, like the parts for it are more in demand and harder to get. So it's not surprising at all. And again, we could talk about what's more impressive, and I didn't include it in this article because we should have talked about it last week, but we didn't, was the Switch has outsold the PlayStation 2. Yeah. I believe it was the PlayStation 2.
Was it the PlayStation?
Yeah. Or it might have been PlayStation 3. I don't know.
I think it was.
Oh, no. It was the 3DS? It was the 3DS.
That's right. Yeah.
It outsold the 3DS. And that, which is a crazy thing because 3DS, it felt like the 3DS, the 2DS, all of that was everywhere, but like the Switch is outselling, its own line. It's right now probably the most sold of the consoles, I would assume, simply because it's been around longer to begin with.
Exactly.
But, like that is a more impressive number that the Switch outsells the 3DS. You know what I mean? So
yeah, definitely.
Like again, this whole Xbox thing, it was a 1 week time period and the 2 years, and now if this consistently happens, then that's something to talk about. You know what I mean? Like then that becomes what is Xbox doing in Japan that's making a difference? But I don't necessarily think this has anything to do with what Microsoft is doing in Japan. I think it's more of, well, it's easier to get, and it the Game Pass, and it comes back to the Game Pass factor because Game Pass is in Japan as well. Game Pass in Japan has slightly different games, I believe, but again, it is what it is. I just thought it was an interesting factoid, and the people that are making this bigger news than it should be is makes me giggle a little bit because I've seen a lot of people go, "Look, Xbox is dominating." It's like, no, it's not
really. Not really.
Like I like Xbox I love Xbox. I'm a big supporter of Microsoft and all that. But like, come on. Come on.
Exactly.
Come on.
They're just, they're just taking advantage. They're trying to get their wins where they can.
Yeah.
To kind of be like, look, we've outsold the PlayStation. But of course there's like a little star asterisk next to that.
There's an asterisk, the star, a arrow. There's so many different things that like actually you got to look at all these factors here first, and then go, okay, this is why it's impressive.
Exactly.
But yeah, so I just thought it was interesting though. I would be interesting to see if this stays consistent. If it does, I think it would be more impressive if it was the Xbox Series X. I think then that would be something worth talking about too if it was the Xbox Series X. But again, Xbox Series X suffers from the same thing as the PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
The higher end parts are harder to get, and the shortage is probably not going to go away. I know in the article they mentioned that Sony was expecting it to last through 2022. It'll probably last beyond 2022 because it's still relatively hard to get, especially with the state of the world. Even though we're coming out of the pandemic, we have conflicts going on.
Exactly. Just make it hard for everything.
Yeah, and there's no telling what other conflicts could arise when you have crazy ass people leading countries. I don't need to get on my soapbox here. I'm trying to refrain from ever doing that again. I think I did that the last 2 episodes, and I apologize.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. The fans enjoyed it. It's okay.
I hope so. But with that said, how do you feel? How do you feel, Elias? You want to dive into this discussion question, or do you want to?
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it. I have time.
All right. So my discussion question for everybody is: are yearly releases for games like sports games, think Madden, FIFA, and then non-sports games like Call of Duty, are they worth investing in? Do you see them as a worthwhile thing? Are they doing anything new in their yearly releases? And I ask that because WWE 2K23 has already been announced to come out of March next year.
So
it made me wonder, because, and I bring this up again because WWE 2K20, the last WWE game was in 2K20, so they took a year off to get 2022. Historically, WWE 2K20 was a buggy nightmare of a mess, horrible game by all accounts. And so this 1 year break kind of allowed the developers to reset and refocus and create the product that we have now, which is
great. Yeah,
it's great. There are still a lot of bugs with WWE 2K22 that I find hilarious, but it did make me wonder, is it worth it? Do these companies, I think for the average gamer, I don't think it matters to the average gamer, but I am curious your thoughts, Elle.
Yeah, no, definitely. So this is my whole thing. I felt this way about yearly games like this for a while. Especially when it comes to sports games, it doesn't make sense to me why they do it every year, because there's only, well, I guess maybe I'm speaking from my perspective, where pertaining to sports games, the only thing that's changing is a couple maybe mechanics in the play style and then the roster. That's the only thing that's changing. Yeah, literally. And you're paying $60 for a new version of that.
$70 now if you're getting it on the...
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, didn't mean to cut you.
No. You're fine. You're fine. And no, it never made sense to me with sports games, because for me, my thing was, why don't they just release the one game and then maybe kind of sell updates for rosters or something like that, and then maybe release another game if they're actually drastically changing the play style or the mechanics. Now for games like Call of Duty, things like that, to me still it didn't make as much sense, but I still didn't have a big issue with it, because to me it felt different than how I would kind of play a sports game, Yeah. But for the most part, I think with Call of Duty, and even games like you just said with the WWE 2K22, it's kind of crazy that they already announced 23, because I'm like, really? They already announced it? That's kind of crazy. I think it's better for the overall development of the game if they take breaks. Because one, we've seen it countless times where kind of developers are in this crunch to kind of get this game out on time and get it out there and make it great, make it playable, make it not as buggy as we saw with WWE 2K20. I think what happens is, for me, games like that, if you don't take that break, what ends up happening is consumers kind of are like, there's nothing really new, and they kind of complain about it and are kind of like, well, I guess it's okay.
Yeah, the bugs, the bad comes to the forefront more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
It gets highlighted more, because I've seen that a lot with people complaining about NBA 2K, the NBA 2K games too. I think more of that is more of this microtransactions side of that. But it is still I think I agree with you on the sports versus the Call of Duty thing. I also have Assassin's Creed's also can fall into this category of conversation too, because for a while Assassin's Creed was doing yearly releases as well, and then they started giving their Ubisoft started letting their developers take a year, and so that's when we started getting the Odyssey, the Origin, the Odyssey, the Valhalla. But on the sports side of things, I 100% am like, I've always found that odd, like, just give me the roster, the game.
That's all I want.
Because like if you put Madden in front of me and you go, this is Madden 2K, whatever the hell the newest one is, and this is the year before it, I probably would not be able to tell the difference, you know?
Exactly, yeah.
Like, because it's like, it's the teams, what are the mechanics? Because the mechanics rarely ever change. Like,
exactly,
I often, we often hear, like, when they do tout the new Maddens and the new FIFAs, they go, oh yes, new way to play the game. It's now more responsive. And it's like, is that really a game mechanic you're selling? Is that it's more responsive? It should have been that way to begin. You could have also just made that an update.
Exactly.
So on the Call of Duty side of things, I think what separates Call of Duty a little bit is the fact that there's multiple developers that rotate, and it's usually like a different era, time period, you know?
Oh,
you have the Modern Warfare, you had the World War I, you had the Future, whatever the hell it was called. What was the Future Call of Duty one? Anyway, it's not important.
It was Advanced Warfare.
Yeah. So like you had like different sort of eras, and then but the developers were always different for each one, and so that did give them more time technically. But they would still allow for Call of Duty to come out. So there were like noticeable differences. The core gameplay was the same. It was like the skin was different. You know what I mean?
Of course, yeah.
And like the story and stuff. So I can see that. And same with like Assassin's Creed as well. For a long while, we were getting Assassin's Creed every freaking year. And this really suffered from it was just the same skin, or it was different skin wrapped in the same thing.
Yep.
And it never really innovated on top of itself, not until like Origins. And then do you remember Assassin's Creed Unity?
Yeah.
How bad that was?
Man.
Do you remember the monstrosity of like the skin would disappear on character models and stuff?
Oh yeah, and you just see the eyeballs and the mouth.
It was horrifying. It was like nightmare-inducing stuff. And then that was like around the time they were like, okay, we're gonna take the time, we're gonna slow down, we're gonna let our folks work on things, and that's when we got into Origins. And then it was like about a year and a half, 2 years that we got Odyssey, and then same with Valhalla. So, but yeah, I think this is a weird conversation to have, especially because this goes back to sort of what we were talking about earlier. How does the average person realize or know? It's one of those things, like sports games, they always sell no matter what. FIFA is always like one of the number one games sold in the world because people love soccer, you know?
Yeah, of course.
Granted,
exactly.
I'm interested to know what the pendulum is going to be like once the FIFA name gets taken off, since the next soccer game is just going to be EA FC. I wonder, without the FIFA brand name on it, how many people are going to realize that this is just FIFA, but without the name. FIFA. You know what I mean? I'm interested to see what the name brand taken away, what's going to change, if anything at all. But like the average person just, walks into the store and goes, oh, look, another Call of Duty. Oh, look, another Madden or NBA or whatever. And they're just like, we're going to just buy it.
Oh, yeah. No, definitely. I think it definitely depends with the various games. Kind of like sports. Sports necessarily don't have a story mode, so there's not really a lot of story to work. You're more so just, like I said, updating the rosters, maybe trying to prevent glitches from happening and try to hopefully make the gameplay better. With Call of Duty, I could definitely see what you were talking about, where you have different developers kind of like pushing the different time periods, which makes it cool. So you kind of aren't getting the same thing. At the core, you're getting the same thing, but it has different aesthetics to it.
Yeah.
But I think for me personally, I'm always up for like giving the developers more time to kind of make sure, fine tune everything, and then give time to kind of get out these great ideas like your Assassin's Creed, like you were talking about. Once they started to take a little time, you got cooler, better stories, cooler time periods, just cooler aesthetics overall, and it just made the game that much richer for kind of games that are more story heavy.
Yeah.
And it just makes it, that much cooler and more like, oh, okay, cool. This is dope.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I'm it's an interesting thing to think about. Like, I would be totally fine if like sports games like came out every 2 years, like,
oh yeah, definitely.
We get a FIFA this year, and then 2024 we get another one.
Oh yeah.
Well, I guess it would be EA FC, but you know what I mean. Like, it would be great. Like, it is what it is. Like, could you imagine if like Rockstar tried to release a GTA every single year? Do you think people would get?
Yeah.
Do you think people would get burned off? Because like, as much as we like to talk about how good Grand Theft Auto is, there are a lot of bugs with Grand Theft Auto.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Both in single player and on the online mode. So so if we saw that every year, do you think people would eventually go like, no, fuck Grand Theft Auto. This is horrible. These games are horrible. Do you at some point, do you think that name becomes meaningless?
Yeah, I definitely think that would happen. I almost feel like in a way they're kind of doing that now with all these online updates, because people are kind of like, we just want the next game. We're tired of these just like random story missions.
Yeah, these random grindy story missions that we have to.
That we have to play through. And I almost feel like, because kind of what happened with that, I mean, I'm pretty sure, it's just like as soon as Rockstar got into that microtransaction place, that's where it kind of just like, we made a lot of money. And, they made a lot of money. As soon as they got into that, they were like, whoa, there's a lot of money here. And they kind of based it there, where I kind of feel like Grand Theft Auto, it's still a great game, but I think it was more beloved when they was like, here's the product, there is no updates, there is no whatever, and you just gotta wait, however many years till the next one.
Do you remember? I know Grand Theft Auto 4 got like two story DLCs, right? The Ballad of Gay Tony and what was the other one?
Hell's Angels.
Yeah, the motorcycle club group. I can't remember what they're called. But did the online portion ever get any significant updates? I
don't think it did. I think it was just that DLC downloads. From as far as I remember, I think Grand Theft Auto 4, the online just was never touched. It was more so you get on there and play certain game modes and free roam or whatever. Yeah,
it wasn't a living, breathing, persistent world. I guess it's not a persistent world, but living, breathing world that you can create with your friends and all that. Yeah. Okay.
I will say though that Rockstar, because of Grand Theft Auto 5, what they did with the online, or maybe it was just the timing of it, these crazy communities started to come up from it. Like, these communities of people who act out like certain like jobs and stuff. Like, you want to know a secret? Oh boy.
I am part of the No Pixel RP server. I have a character.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I haven't been on there, and like I got accepted to this because you have to fill out an application and everything to know.
Wow.
The No Pixel server is the most popular RP server that you're talking about.
Wow.
I signed up for it last year, around March of last year. Got accepted. I played a good amount through like the summer, and then I got bored of it. You can only do the same thing. Like,
of course,
like it was fun. I had fun like doing the jobs, meeting people, playing, like creating our stories and developing stories together and stuff. I enjoyed that a lot, but like it got boring after a while for me, at least. And but I played a lovely character that talked like this. His name was Richard Smooth. So was that a good voice?
No, definitely. I was gonna say that because of how big the online ecosystem got, it gave way to these cool things, but a double-edged sword because of that. And then they just, the microtransactions kind of were like, oh, you know what, we're not gonna start developing on Grand Theft Auto 6 until we just continue to do this.
Beat this to the ground.
Beat it to the ground. And then didn't they, I think it might have been this year, they just announced that they barely started working on Grand Theft Auto 6.
I mean, like, did they announce it, or is it just like rumors? Because like I constantly see like rumors going, oh, Grand Theft Auto, it's coming out this year, they're gonna announce it. It's like, man, you guys have been saying that for the last fucking 20 years now. It feels like, even though it hasn't been 20 years.
I think Rockstar officially said that, hey, we just want to let y'all know, because they kept getting, messages and stuff. They're like, we are just barely starting on this. So don't expect
it. Don't expect it until like probably 2030.
Yeah, 2030 or something, because of course they're going to want to double the size of the place that you play in and whatever.
Yeah.
But
do you think do you think on that front, do you think they have Grand Theft Auto 6? Does it come with multiplayer, or do they spin off the multiplayer into its own sort of package? You know what I mean? Like, it's no longer tied to just the story. That way people won't have the so you won't have the fans upset that there's not a sequel instead. You know what I mean?
No, definitely. I could definitely see that. That kind of seems like the way things are going now. I mean, that's what Halo did. Red Dead Redemption 2 did that.
Did it? You can play. I thought you had to have Red Dead Redemption 2 to also do the online. Yeah,
okay. I might have been wrong there, but I know Halo did that. That'd be kind of cool, because I could definitely see them. I would think that'd be a good way to separate for those who want to play, online and do whatever you do online, and then for the people who want to just play for the story. I could definitely see that, and what they'll do, what I would say would a smart move for them to do would be like make that multiplayer free to play with microtransactions, but then of course you sell the story.
I mean, the microtransactions are already. I like anytime that I've gone on Grand Theft Auto Online, not connected to like the NoPixel server. Every time I've gone online, it feels the transactions feel so intrusive almost at times, where it's like I kind of feel like I need to do it to feel like I've make any progress in the game, like the online portion.
No, definitely.
Especially now that they have like so many different cars and packs and all that crap, and you're like, what? So
what it suffers from is that if you're kind of like, I bet if I were to get on Grand Theft Auto 5 online, that game would probably make me feel like, you know what, I need to buy in order to catch up to everyone. Because if not, you're going to grind it out for a very long time just to kind of be able to buy certain things, to play certain missions, or buy certain things, just to make it fair.
We sort of got lost track here because we got on the Grand Theft Auto conversation. If Grand Theft Auto were to do that, I think it would suffer a little bit. Maybe they could do that for the online portion for a game like that. But story mode, no, please just take your time with it. Yeah, I think I would agree with that. I still, the whole idea of yearly games kind of bothers me, just because like it's one of the question is how much is changing and how much value am I getting really, and from 2022 to like WWE 2K23 when it comes out, how much is really going to change? How much time did the developers really have to take in feedback from the community and apply it to this game? You know what I mean? Definitely. What I was gonna say to that, because I remember playing like the older WWE games, and they weren't like that. They came out, from what I remember, from like when they were on I mean, you can go far in 64, but PlayStation 2 and so on, they kind of came out maybe every other year or two or three, and they weren't like 2K21 or they weren't like that. It was like Bring the Pain or SmackDown. Yeah, it wasn't until they became 2K, which was like, I think 2011, maybe. Now they're trying to cash in on those transactions. What is the oldest 2K? Oh my god, I'm looking at 2K11. It looks horrible. I bet it is. Oh my god. Like, how did anybody play this? That's so funny. Oh my god. Randy Orton is just a blob. What the fuck? This is supposed to be Randy Orton and John Cena. They're just blobs. They look almost exactly alike. The only difference is that Randy Orton does have a tattoo on his arm. He has the arm sleeve tattoo, So it's always funny. The only difference I can see. It's always funny going back to graphics from older games compared to now. You're like, what? I played this? How the fuck? No mercy. To be fair, I had not sort of going into 2K22. I have not played a wrestling game since I would say No Mercy, but I know for a fact that I briefly tried to play one of the 2K games because it was free on Xbox as part of Games for Gold. And I remember trying to play it, and like the controls were so like it was way too complicated, and I was like, I don't want to take the time to learn this.
Oh yeah.
But anyways, yeah, like man. So it looks like, yeah. So WWE, the 2K game started with SmackDown versus Raw.
Yep.
And then it started moving into it dropped when THQ like shuttered its doors. It got the 2K whatever branding instead of being SmackDown versus Raw and stuff.
That was the day they put it to rest.
Yeah. So it's been like this for a while. But like the early stuff like No Mercy, SmackDown, whatever those games and stuff were.
I guess what makes it interesting to me is to kind of like go back to the question is, I wonder, like you said, this is kind of actually like a question that we've asked throughout the podcast, whereas how much does the consumer realize, like you said earlier, how much is really changing? Because I wonder if more so it's become more so just routine for them to be like, well, the new one's out, so I'll buy it.
Yeah.
Because man, I kind of feel like if you just gave games like that time and gave it a year off or two, man, they could come back with some really cool mechanics or like some really cool interesting game modes that would, and then you kind of play that for a while until the next one comes out.
Yeah, like I mean, I guess my question would be like, what would you want like to change? Like if you had FIFA in front of you right now.
Yeah, true.
What would you want to change for the next game? Like what kind of modes would you want to include?
I got it. You include mascot mode. Yeah, even though there's not really mascots.
There are mascots in FIFA. That's what
that'd be funny. Or like little kid mode, or just funny, silly, playful things.
My train of thought is, have you ever played Football Manager?
I have. Yes, I have. Yeah.
What if EA, I guess, doesn't directly copy that game since it's a whole self-contained game and stuff, but like created their own little like Football Manager mode that was similar to that.
That'd be kind of cool. I think that,
like, calling it like very similar to like my GM mode or whatever the hell.
Yeah, exactly. I think that'd be cool. I think that'd be like to me, what I'm always for when it comes to anything in the video games, always trying new things. Yeah. Because out of trying new things and creating these new ideas, you don't know what'll be a hit or miss, and then also what it could lead to. Yeah. Then all of a sudden, FIFA does that, and they're like, here's this My Manager mode where you have all these crazy things or whatever, and it could just draw in a whole new audience, or just create this cool new portion of the game that had you not tried it, you never knew it would have been a hit.
And to be clear, there is a My Manager mode or whatever the hell it's called in FIFA. It's just
very basic.
It's just you draft players, and you give them their positions and all that, and that's it. Like you don't have it like the football manager game where that is very deep. You don't actually, it's very complicated. You don't play any of the matches. It's all simmed and stuff. Yeah. But like it goes back to like my whole spreadsheet stuff. You need a spreadsheet to manage all of that. So
exactly.
But I don't know. Like, for me personally, to go back to this question, to answer the question, for me personally, I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth investing. I know, like, my playing habits, the last FIFA game that I bought was 2015, I believe.
Oh, wow.
And I have not bought a FIFA game since, because it's like, anytime I look at any FIFA game, I'm like, it looks just the same.
Exactly.
The rosters are updating, because obviously players are transferring and stuff like that. But guess what I can do in the game? I can just transfer them to the other team. Like, I don't need I mean, physically, like, I would love to update to just retroactively move the players and stuff so I didn't have to do it. But I can just do that myself. And then I practically have the same fucking crap, It's like...
Exactly. So, no, definitely. I agree.
And it's the same with Madden. It's the same with the NBA. Granted, NBA, 2K, whatever, has like a whole host of own problems because of the microtransactions. I've heard that it's just getting worse and worse. I haven't played NBA at all ever, but like I hear stories, I've seen stuff. I remember for a while people were upset that they added ads in the middle of their games and stuff. Like it would just interrupt your game and add an ad and stuff.
That's so crazy.
I don't know if that's still a thing, but
yeah, I don't know. But I say overall, I agree with you 100% that it's definitely not worth it.
Yeah, what was the last FIFA, Madden, or
I think the last
minus
FIFA,
WWE 2K22 since we both said we bought it.
I think the last FIFA I bought, I want to say it was either FIFA 16 or 17, so like not too far off. But after that,
it's been a good like 6-7 years though.
Oh yeah, definitely. Just because I would play it, and it was kind of like a game that I just would play just to play. But then after, there's not a lot to do with it besides, unless you're playing like competitive or doing the whole I don't know what the card system's called, but the FIFA, like you build your own team.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called either.
Yeah,
team. I don't think that's what it's called.
Yeah. So no, because after a while you're kind of like, well, that's when I'm like, well, I'm just paying for the same thing. Just
playing for the same product. Yeah, same skin and everything. Yeah, I feel that. What was the last Call of Duty game you played?
Oh my god. The last Call of Duty game I played was, is there one called, I think it was called Vanguard. Was it Vanguard?
Yeah, didn't that come out last year, or was it the year before?
I think it was 2 years ago.
2 years ago?
I played it, like I briefly played the Battle Royale, and I said, nope, Warzone. I'm out. Yeah. I was like, I'm out of here. It's too advanced for me. I was like, I can't keep up.
Oh god, yeah. That's how I feel anytime I jump into any battle royale mode. Like I'm just like, this is too much for me. I don't want to do anything. Like I tried playing PUBG back when I first when it was the hot thing. What was it, like 2018 or something like that? Yeah. It was the hot thing to do, and I played it and I was like, nah, nope.
Yeah.
Flip the table. This is not happening. There's too many mechanics at work here, and I don't like any of it.
Yeah, it was the same thing. I remember playing Fortnite when it was like, it's still very popular, but I remember when,
it's the most popular game.
The most popular, but I remember whenever I played the game one time and I was just barely starting, and just seeing all the other players being like, build, how fast they were doing it. I was like, yeah, let's log out of here.
Yeah, I remember I've only played Fortnite I played like maybe 5 matches. I remember 2 of those matches I had people yelling at me going, you gotta build. And I'm like, I don't know what is the button to build?
Yeah,
it's the F keys. I was like, what?
That's like one of the few games that actually made me feel like I'm getting old, because I'm like, I can't keep up with the rest of the competitive field.
Right. I remember playing, and I got like paired with like a group of kids, and they were clearly like friends in high school or like friends at like middle school or something. Yeah. And I'm like, hey, what you doing? I had that middle school grade voice and stuff.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, we're just playing around, we're just hanging out. So what do you do in life? And they were like trying to have a full. I was like, this is a very wholesome interaction. And then the fighting started. They went down, and they're like, motherfucker, get us. I'm like, oh my god, we turned into demons like instantly. It was like the switch. It was like, oh god. It was one of those things where I'm getting cussed out by an 11-year-old now, a 10-year-old. Oh my god. I was like, I always heard stories of this, but now it's real.
Yeah. Oh, that's so hilarious.
Anyways, that's the podcast. I hope you all enjoyed. Elliot, take us away.
All right.
I keep using your real name. I apologize.
You're fine. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to Respawn Please on Twitch. You can always catch us every Thursday, even though I know it's Friday. But most of the time, it's Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time at twitch.tv/Respawn Please podcast now, right?
Yes. Respawn Please podcast.
Respawn Please podcast. If you missed the streams, that's all right, because we upload the video version to our YouTube, which is Respawn Please podcast. Also, if you don't have time to watch the video version, you can also listen to the audio versions on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, everywhere you can get podcasts, Google Podcasts, whatever. Just look up Respawn Please podcast. Make sure to follow our social media accounts, which on Instagram, it's Respawn Please podcast, as well as TikTok, where we upload short clips of episodes.